Right. Hey everyone, my name is John.
And I'm Matt.
So you guys can consider this kind of like a bonus episode for the podcast and for the channel. We are going to talk about my personal favorite director of all time. I don't know if it's yours.
I mean, he's up there for me. You know, it's easily top 3.
And if you're wondering who we're talking about, that gentleman's name is Mr. Quentin Tarantino. And Quentin Tarantino has been doing this for a very long time. He came around with his first feature-length film in 1992 at Reservoir Dogs, but he also wrote some scripts. He sold a couple that same time with True Romance and Natural Born Killers. We're here today to rank his films, and Matt just finished rewatching them all. I rewatched them all last year, and I caught up on a few this time, so there is a very early video on this channel where I ranked them. And I gotta be honest, my opinion has changed on a few since then.
Has it? I was just about to ask, did any of those change?
They did change, and I'm surprised. And also, from that video, I ranked Kill Bill as one movie. Matt insisted we rank them separately.
Well, there's 2 of them.
He's not wrong, but I don't agree. So, it was supposed to be one movie. Harvey Weinstein made him separate it to get basically double the paychecks. They came out, I think, 6 months apart or something like that. Right. I guess it worked out. It'd be like a 3.5-hour movie, and I know you're not a huge fan when they get that long.
Yeah, especially those movies.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that. So we're actually just going to dive right into it. So I'm going to explain the rules real quick. There's 10 of these movies. We are only going to we're going to do top 10 rules. So my favorite podcast that's ending in February actually is called the Top 10 Show. And the way they count it down is they go from 10 to 1.
They're quitting?
They're not making the podcast anymore.
Why?
Their viewership.
What's that?
The fuck is wrong with you?
Well, that's how much people watch the show. They said it's declined.
Huh.
So they didn't think. And I speculation on them, but I don't think they have the greatest relationship. Like, they don't live in the same city anymore. So I think ever since that happened, I think that they just decided it's run its course.
They're wrapping it up.
Right. But, it's better to go out, what's the quote from Kurt Cobain? It's better to burn out than fade away.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out with like 3 people watching anymore and no one gives a shit.
Right.
You want to go out on a high note. So that's what they figured. I think COVID killed that show. They were doing live shows and then they had to cancel them all. And sad.
Shame.
But their rules are simple. Like, they start down, so whoever has the highest on their list, that's when they talk about it. So if my number 10 is is higher on Matt's list, we'll talk about it later. And so that's what we're going to do here. So I'll start at my number 10, and that is Death Proof. So so are we talking about that one later?
Hold on, you got to refresh me on the rules here. So I'm getting my list.
Okay. So the rules are simple. Obviously not for you. If it's low on my list, that is my number 10. If that's higher on your list, we'll talk about it when we get to it on your list.
Okay.
So if it's number 10 on mine, it's not your number 10, right?
No.
So we'll talk about it later. So what is your number 10?
My number 10 is Hateful Eight.
All right, we'll be talking about that one later. All right, so then my number 9 is Inglourious Basterds.
Okay.
What's that on your list? That's not your number 9?
No.
What's your number 9?
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill. All right, so then we'll do my number 8, and that is Hateful Eight. So this will be the first one we talk about. This is your number 10?
The Hateful Eight.
That's your least favorite Tarantino movie.
Least favorite Tarantino movie.
All right. I can actually understand that. I have a good memory with this because I saw this on a snowy day. I went to the movies. I was the only person in the theater. It was my first vacation from my job, and I had a good time watching it. Now, it is a little long, and that's why it's moved down my list to number 8.
Okay.
And I know you felt that length.
Yes, I felt the length. And I just feel like not enough really happened.
It takes place for the most part.
I understand like what was going on. It was all just a plan and a plot to stop or save the sister.
Yes.
And I get that, but it just
Yeah, I actually have cooled on this one a little bit too. Like, it's just like the thing I said, and that score I think is great. I love the setting of a cabin basically in the middle of a blizzard.
Right.
And Kurt Russell's great in this movie.
Yes,
So Samuel Jackson.
Yep.
And Walter Goggins. I love him too. He's great in this. So it's a good cast. And
yeah, it's not bad.
The only person I don't like and is what's his name? Who shows up towards the end? Channing Tatum. Yeah. He feels a little out of place in this movie.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him on the cast list myself.
Yeah.
But I don't think he did bad.
He didn't do terrible, but you could have done a little bit better than him. But overall, this is a pretty okay movie. Did you know, fun fact about this movie is that guitar that Kurt Russell destroyed was a one-of-a-kind, and they were supposed to swap it out with a stunt guitar, essentially.
Whoops.
And somebody fucked up, and they destroyed the one-of-a-kind guitar that was basically has no price on it, because there's only one of them. Yeah. So they were not happy when they rented that from the museum, and they could not return it.
Wow.
Yeah, he fucked up bad. It wasn't his fault. It was whoever the guy was supposed to, the prop guy.
Right.
Lost his job that day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, what was your number 9?
Number 9 was, there's 10 movies altogether?
Yeah.
So it would be Kill Bill.
All right. That is my number 7.
Okay.
So Kill Bill has fallen down my list, and I told you if I combine them as one movie, that used to be my number 2. Not anymore. Kill Bill is a lot of setup for that one crazy fight scene at the end.
Yep, I agree. It was kind of slow, kind of boring, not really too interested in what was going on. I think the problem with this one was my dad is a huge fan of Kill Bill, and you talked about Kill Bill a lot and hyped it up, and you guys just hyped this movie up like beyond belief for me, and I just felt a little underwhelmed when I watched it.
Yeah, and after talking with you, and then I also talked to some people in the comments about it, I've kind of cooled a little bit on this one as well. I was just blown away when I first saw it. I'd never seen anything like it. I'm not the biggest martial arts film guy. And that crazy 88 fight scene at the end.
That was cool. Yep.
Into a great fight with Lucy Liu where it's just one-on-one. I love it. And then, like, again, the snow always gets me, and it's in the snow. And
right.
Then you get the shot of her, like, shutting the trunk on him. Now, that's my biggest problem is they kind of end it there. And it does just feel like part 1 or half of a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can't put it any higher than that.
Yeah, part 2, much better.
Much better, and we'll get to that. What's your number 8? Because I don't know if we talked about your number 8.
My number 8, that is Kill Bill Volume 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you put it that high. All right, well, we'll talk about that We'll talk about that later. I said that Kill Bill was my number 8. What's your number 7?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
All right, that's higher for me as well.
I don't understand the rules.
All right, well, follow along with
I'm
me.
just following along. I don't understand the rules, but
you know,
it doesn't make sense to me. Why are we not talking about any of these?
Because they're higher on my list.
So
we'll talk about them when we get to it at the highest point.
Okay.
You get it?
Nope.
No. All right.
God damn it, are you fucking with me?
So I said that my number 7 was Kill Bill. What's your number? And your number 7 is Kill Bill Volume 2?
7 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
All right, what's your number 6?
Inglourious Basterds.
Okay, we could talk about that because that was my number 9. This has fallen down my list pretty hard.
Really?
Yes, and you like this way more this time.
I was dreading getting up to this one because the first time I watched it, I just remember like nothing but subtitles, and I was younger, and I just really didn't enjoy it, and I was really dreading this watch through. And then I watched it, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I thought it was a good movie.
It is a good movie. It's a series, though, of good scenes, I feel like, where it's some downtime. Like, I really enjoyed the scenes.
Well, it's long.
Yes. And then there's some scenes in here, like, I would have just completely cut, or I just didn't really care enough about the characters. Like, I love the opening scene with Christoph Waltz, with the milk and everything like that. So much tension in that scene.
Yeah,
He's perfect. And then I love all the scenes with the bastards. And I love the final scene, even if, like,
burning down the theater.
Yeah. Even if it is a little over the top and ridiculous at points, and that's Tarantino trying to rewrite history, that stuff, and then basically he's really feeling himself, like that ending scene where he basically says, this might be my masterpiece. That's Tarantino talking to us.
Yeah.
He really thought he was something, and I appreciate that because it is a good movie.
It is. I liked it a lot.
The scene in German with the 3 and the 3 and everything like that, how he tips them off, I thought that was a great scene too. It's just all the stuff in between. That didn't work for me. I felt I was too bored, and I shouldn't have been. I
had a great time, and I'm not a big subtitle. Like, I generally will avoid anything with subtitles. That's why I was dreading this one, but I wanted to chug through all the Tarantino stuff, and I was just, I was involved. I was into it.
Oh, okay.
I had a great time.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's just, I want to enjoy it more, and this one has a very disappointing 4K, which you haven't checked out yet, right?
No, I just upgraded to the 4K, but I haven't watched it. I watched the Blu-ray when I watched it.
Okay. I'm curious because I've heard bad things about it. I don't have that. I just have the regular standard Blu-ray of that. Mm-hmm. And then my number 6 is Django Unchained. Where's Django Unchained on your list?
Django is 5 for me.
Okay, we could talk about this now. So Django Unchained. This stars Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Christoph Waltz again.
Yes.
He won an Academy Award for this, and he won it for Inglourious Basterds.
Really?
Yeah. And he was basically undiscovered until Tarantino.
Yeah, Django's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
That's a good one. Long, again. All the Tarantino stuff is pretty long, with the exception of like Death Proof and
Reservoir Dogs.
And Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, it's weird how he does that. Yeah, this movie is very long, and you do feel it in parts because it's basically an epic. Like, we just start out like he's just a dentist, Christoph Waltz, and he discovers
He's a bounty hunter.
Basically, he found out that, hey, I know this guy, Jamie Foxx, is a slave. He can tell me, he can point out Mr. Candy, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and a bunch of other guys, actually. And they end up forming a partnership.
Yep.
And they head off to go save Jamie Foxx's wife, played by Kerry Washington. And Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie is phenomenal.
Leo is phenomenal in everything.
He is, but in this movie in particular, like, you shouldn't care about him. He's a slave owner.
Yeah.
But he is just so good as this slave owner.
Yeah, Leo's the best.
You know, that scene where he slammed the table and he cuts his hand, that really happened. And you could
Really?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Hey! Now lay your palms flat on that tabletop! If you lift those palms off that turtle shell tabletop, Mr. Pooch is gonna let loose with both barrels of that sawed off.
I didn't know that, but it looked believable.
Yeah, he accidentally slammed the glass, stayed in character. That's why he's picking glass out of his hand, and then he touched. That's why Kerry Washington looks all freaked out, because he touched her with the bloody hand.
Yeah.
You know, like, but that's staying in character. That's acting.
Yeah.
I think he should have won the Academy Award for that time, but he didn't.
Yeah, no, Leo's great. Big Leo guy.
And this was your number 5.
Yep.
So that leads into my number 5, which is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was lower on your list.
So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Basterds, I would say, is a toss-up. Depends on the day of the week. I had a tough time placing that one, but I put it behind Inglourious Basterds still.
I get that. And we talked about this morning, and this draws a good point, is that Matt isn't too familiar with the Manson family murders. So if you were going into this, you might not be aware of who Sharon Tate is, or all the other people in that family, like Tex, played by now Academy Award nominated actor Austin Butler, playing Elvis.
Yeah, so because I was gonna text you halfway through, I was like, "Why is Margaret Robbie even in this movie? Like, she's just driving around, and she didn't even have a line until like 2 hours in."
I know, she just smiling and
I was like, "What is going on here?" I was just a little. I think, honestly, out of all the movies, this is like the most uneventful.
No, this is just a hangout movie, really. Like, it's just really about Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio's friendship. And Leo, again, Brad Pitt won the Academy Award for this, for Best Supporting Actor, but Leo should have won, too.
Brad Pitt was awesome in this movie. I loved the two of them. They were great.
But Leo was amazing in
But,
this.
like, I took it as the entire movie was just Leo getting his invite, because, like he said earlier in the movie, I'm one pool party away from starring in whatever
Roman Polanski,
his next movie. So at the end, after they broke into the house and they killed people and that whole traumatic experience, he finally gets invited up the driveway, and then boom, credits. So like, that was him, I guess, making it, because he did the Italian films, but now he's gonna be a U.S. movie star, I guess. I don't know.
Again, first he was in TV. He was on that Western TV show,
Bounty Law.
Bounty Law. That's where him and Brad Pitt met, and then he became a stunt double. And they're going to end it after they did, which they were making fun of Sergio Leone movies, those Italian spaghetti westerns. That's why they're called spaghetti westerns, because they were made in Italy.
Right.
So he was basically in those types of movies in Italy, which are good, but he didn't take them seriously. He comes back, and I love the scene with him and the one girl, basically when he's sitting in the chair reading his book.
Yes, the little girl.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
Yeah, and him in the trailer when he's talking to himself in the mirror, he's like, you couldn't just have 1 or 2 whiskey sours. You had to have 8, right? Because you're a goddamn alcoholic and you can't control yourself. And then he immediately pulls out a flask.
Yeah, no, it's not, again, I don't think there's a bad Tarantino.
No, I don't think there is either.
There's not a bad one. There's just ones that I'm not in the mood to watch, or I don't need to watch every time I do a Tarantino watch through.
Tarantino's batting 1,000, because even though I put Death Proof at number 10, I still think Death Proof is still better than some other directors' best films, if that makes sense. That's how good he is. It's still a good movie. I
love Death Proof.
I could put Death Proof on all the time and still enjoy myself.
My number 4.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're about to get to that then, because my number 4 is Jackie Brown, and that's higher on your list. I
Number
know.
2.
Yeah. So I guess what do we talk about here, Brad?
I don't know. You're the rules guy.
What'd you just say? Your number 4
I
was?
have no fucking idea what you're doing. Number 4 for me is Death Proof.
Okay. So we can talk about Death Proof now. Stuntman Mike.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Kurt Russell fucking performances too.
He's great in it.
Tell me you don't want nachos right now, or every time you watch that, tell me you don't want those fucking nachos.
Those bar nachos.
Oh my
they
God.
look amazing. And they had Tarantino playing the bartender too.
Yeah.
Because, all right, so somebody actually pointed this out to me, and I never thought about it. Like, I looked at the first half of this movie is kind of like a low-budget horror movie, and then it turns into the movie about the girls and everything, and how their relationship to Stunt Bike Mike, where Stunt Bike Mike almost takes like a back seat.
Stuntman Mike.
Stuntman Mike. What do I keep saying?
Stunt Bike.
I'm thinking of Snow Bike.
Snow Bike Mike from Kind of Funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so Stuntman Mike. And he's great. That car is scary as shit.
Very cool. Yeah, with the duck on the hood. My dad actually got that duck and put it on the hood of his truck.
Did he really?
He loves Death Proof.
I forgot your dad really
My
does.
dad's a big Tarantino guy.
Yeah, and he love Death Proof.
He loves Death Proof, yeah.
Yeah, but this is another movie, like, this is like, because this was a double feature in Grindhouse with Paul Rodriguez's Planet Terror, where, you know, they had the fake trailers in there. Like, you went and when you saw it in movies, they had parts cut out, and actually those parts that they cut out in the theater, they actually say missing reel.
Yes.
Only in Grindhouse. When you watch the movie separately, you get that lost reel in there. And I think it's like 7 minutes of lost footage.
Yes. So I've only had the Grindhouse set for a while, and then after I just watched him, he told me about that because it does say missing reel. So I ended up picking up Death Proof and Planet Terror separately, just to have the extended versions.
Yeah, I gotta grab Planet Terror and Grindhouse on there. I haven't watched Grindhouse on.
It's $6. I sent it to you the other day at $6. I said you had no excuse, and you still did not buy it for $6.
You didn't send me Grindhouse though.
I sent you Death Proof.
Oh yeah, I gotta grab both.
Or no, I sent you Planet Terror.
Yeah, I have Death Proof. I only have
That's
Death
why
Proof.
I sent you Planet Terror.
Yeah, I gotta.
You have this.
Yes, that's what I have. I have that exact Blu-ray. I haven't watched the Grindhouse since I saw it in theaters. Like, I haven't watched it with the trailers and watched them as a double feature or nothing.
It's great.
It's a unique experience. I've watched the trailers online.
Yeah, after I got to Grindhouse on my Tarantino watch through, I took a break and I watched Machete. I just picked up that Hobo Without a Shotgun movie.
And they're making the Eli Roth one, the Thanksgiving one.
I heard about that.
They're making it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I can't believe they're actually doing it.
That's gonna be.
Is that
cool.
all of the trailers, or is there some still missing?
From what I remember, I think those are the 3.
Okay, so that's pretty awesome that they actually caught up to that.
And Eli Roth was in the movie.
He was.
He was in Death Proof.
Yeah. So my number 3 is Kill Bill Volume 2, which was pretty low on your list.
Yes.
So I think that this one is a lot better than I ever remember.
I agree.
Yeah.
It is much better for sure, but it's, I guess, the second half to the story, the conclusion.
Yeah, you need it.
You know, that's where it...
Because we don't see Bill in the first one.
No.
We see his laugh, and this is the line in this. Like, I guess it was from he's like, "This is me at my most sadistic." I love the guy that got to play Bill, who actually was a big kung fu actor in the '70s with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
Huh.
So that's why they kind of got him for him. And what I love most about this movie is the very end. His Superman speech is insane. How he's just talking about Superman and how he's a hero to him. For me, it bumped it above the original, and also like the scene in the coffin when he's just trying to get out. And you know.
Oh yeah, that punch.
Yeah. I also love that. What's her name with the eye patch killed.
How do they do it? Like this?
Like that's it. Like somehow they're able to like
that. That's how they do it.
That's not how they do it. That hurt. You're such a fuck. That hurt.
Did I do it right?
Yeah, let's see how good you are, because I'm gonna kidnap you and I'm gonna bury you myself. Let's see if you get out. All right? I think you're so fucking tough. So that was my number 3. What was your number 3?
Number 3 is Reservoir Dogs.
Well, that's my number 2, so I guess we could talk about that.
Okay.
Reservoir Dogs is fantastic.
Great movie.
I love that movie, and you know what? The new 4K really did add to it.
Oh my god, yeah. Beautiful 4K.
Beautiful 4K.
Beautiful movie. You're going to be alright, or you're going to be okay.
I'm sorry. I say this to my wife all the time. I'm sorry. Are you a doctor?
Yeah, awesome. I love that scene with Billy Madsen doing cutting the guy's ear off.
Oh yeah, playing the soundtrack. What was it? Something Billy's kicking sounds of the 70s.
Yeah.
I love the score throughout this entire movie is awesome. I love the opening scene in the diner where they're just talking and they're just telling everything about, like, we get Madonna's Like a Virgin, this whole theory that Tarantino has.
Tell you what Like a Virgin's about. It's all about a girl who digs a guy with a big dick.
Yes.
And, oh yeah, awesome. I love the
Reservoir
slipcover.
Dogs.
I have the steelbook with the colors and everything in that. Yeah, such a good
Beautiful.
movie. And then obviously
Beautiful
all
movie.
the fights between everybody, like who can they trust? Who's the rat? Is it Mr. Orange? You know, even the story he's telling, the commode story, it's perfect throughout this entire thing. It's got a kind of a sad ending too.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
Because like Larry,
Almost none of them make it.
no, Steve Buscemi gets arrested. You can hear it off camera.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Like him, he's so good in this movie.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi.
All of them are.
Oh yeah, everyone is perfectly cast in this movie except the guy who's in charge. But even Nice Guy Eddie, played by Sean Penn's brother, Chris Penn.
Oh, I love that guy.
He is
he's
so
the best.
good.
He comes in there in his fucking windbreaker jumpsuit, the big old cell phone.
Larry, stop pointing that gun at my dad.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Let's talk about your number 2.
My number 2 is Jackie Brown.
Yeah, that was my number 4. Jackie Brown is awesome.
Awesome. I fucking had a great time. This is my first time watching it. And I didn't really know what to expect because you said, get Jackie Brown, you're going to love it. Someone you love is in the movie.
Yeah.
And you were referring to Chris Tucker.
I was, because you're a big Chris Tucker guy.
I do like Chris Tucker a lot.
No more than 10 minutes.
Man, I ain't riding in no trunk for no minute.
And he's only in it for a short while, so I didn't want
Samuel Jackson in this movie is
Oh.
just with that fucking pony. What is the ponytail or the goatee?
He's got both. He's got a ponytail and that long-ass goatee.
Yeah, oh my god.
And then they put that big mustache on Robert De Niro with the long hair, and he's like,
Yeah, the prison fucking De Niro.
yeah, and he's burnt out as shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, like
I don't know. I thought it was a fun movie. I had a great time watching that one. I really enjoyed it.
Pam Grier is awesome in the lead.
She's Jackie Brown, right?
Yeah, she's Jackie
Yeah.
Brown. And then, what's his name plays the other guy, the bail bondsman, Max Cherry. He's great from
yes.
Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Their relationship, like, because a big part of the movie is about them getting older and, like, what's going on, like, how their lives going to be. You know, Robert De Niro's getting older. Samuel L. Jackson, you're right, he's just great. He's he's running guns. I mean, he's also, he's got all these, like, I got women set up all over town. He's like, oh, that was that's my little surfer chick.
Yeah. I like it. De Niro just fucking shoots her down in the parking
He couldn't take her.
Yeah.
He's just, he just, the way he tells Samuel L. Jackson, she wouldn't stop talking, and
Yeah.
I killed her.
Yeah, no,
I shot
great.
her.
Yeah, that was awesome. I had a great time with Jackie Brown.
That was an awesome, awesome movie. And that brings us to our number 1.
Hello?
Hey,
What's up?
did you start cooking dinner?
No, we're filming. We'll
You
talk
forgot
about it.
our anniversary. John has to remind you.
I did not forget the anniversary.
Liar! I will never believe you.
Okay, don't believe me. That's
You
your fault.
waited until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Someone had to have told you. You didn't even say happy anniversary.
No,
You just asked
I'm not-
if
I'm
I
not
was making something special for our anniversary.
No. So,
What?
if the day ended and I didn't say anything, I would have forgot. Did I remember in the morning? No. But did I put the pieces together throughout the day? Yes.
You heard it was Groundhog's Day and your brain just lit up?
Me and Kevin had a conversation about Groundhog's Day. I said, I think that's my anniversary. It's either that or Valentine's Day. I remember it's tied to a holiday. I don't remember which one. So I took the shot with Groundhog's Day, and I was right.
You took the shot? You weren't even sure?
Of course I was sure. That's
You
why.
are just one big bag of poop.
No,
No, don't get out of this. You're one big bag of poop. You didn't even say happy anniversary. You asked me what I was making for dinner.
for our
John,
anniversary.
teach him your ways, please.
Well,
You may be an asshole to Pete, but at least you're kind of nice to her.
yeah,
Remember things like that. That's why I got married on my birthday. Don't fucking say it.
I did though. I was smart. I won't forget. And our first date anniversary is Valentine's Day. Everything's tied to a holiday.
Matt didn't even know it was a holiday when he asked me. We just got done fucking. We were butt ass naked when he asked.
It just happened to be Groundhog Day. That worked out because now the movie, we won't forget.
What are you having tonight? Rocco's?
Rocco's are tomorrow night.
Do it twice.
Tonight, Faith made, she's making homemade chili, and we're going to have it on chili cheese fries and chips to dip it in.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
what kind of fries?
Checkers.
Nice.
Frozen Checkers fries.
Not
Make
bad.
them in the air fryer, and
There
then
you go.
put the chili on top after, melt the cheese.
Not bad.
It's been in her homemade chili, it's been in the thing since like 3 o'clock. Nachos are good.
Fucking death proof.
I know, you think they're as
Death-proof
good?
nachos.
Those death proof nachos.
We
yeah.
should open up a movie-themed restaurant.
I told you this last week. You didn't listen to me. I said, why don't we open up a movie-themed bar where we also can rent movies out to people? And it could, and then like it's just like Tarantino's bar and Death Proof,
yeah,
where
like
we'll have
death-proof nachos.
the Death Proof nachos. We'll sell the burger from the big hole. We'll call it the Big Kahuna Burger. We'll call it
it's
Tarantino.
So it'll be a big Tarantino.
Well, what other places like we can have like what's the restaurant in our number one? Pulp Fiction. What's the name of that restaurant? Jackrabbit Slims. You can have a Jackrabbit Slims milkshake. What's another restaurant? Another fake restaurant from other movies. I can't think of any. What's the bar? The Titty Twister. You can have a Titty Twister burger from.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of restaurants we can do this with. But we already said it. Our number one is 1994's Pulp Fiction.
Oh, we're filming again?
Yeah, we've been filming. I'm
Okay.
putting that whole thing about the bar in there into the podcast because I want people to tell us if we should do it. Because I want to do
open up
it.
a bar. Yeah, we should just sign our lives away. Let's just open up a bar.
I mean,
We're
do you act like
we're doing so great with this? So
You already. Well, the problem is we already invested all our money into this. We can do a spin-off bar restaurant.
or like a Movies burger from Clerks. You know, the
I'm wearing
Clerks
a movie.
universe.
Am I wearing a movie shirt? No, I'm wearing a Pizza Planet
Cow
shirt.
tipper. Oh yeah, Pizza Planet.
Yeah.
Pizza. Yeah. Bar food.
The fact that oh my god, there's so much we could do so much here. I don't know if the entrepreneur in me, but yeah, number one, Pulp Fiction from 1994.
What a 4K.
What a 4K. Both of them. They're
Yeah.
both the same thing. Lionsgate, right?
Yeah.
Studio Canal scans or no?
Paramount. This is a Paramount Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay.
I don't think this has to do with Lionsgate at all.
Is the other one Paramount too then? I was just thinking the slipcover.
Lionsgate is Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, so that is so weird with the rights of these movies then, because Sony did this, which I have the
Yes,
steelbook
Sony
for.
did Once Upon a Time in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah, that was Sony. So
But yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah, we can't ignore and just clamor on. Pulp Fiction is one of the best movies ever made. It's my second favorite
That's
movie of all
his second
time.
movie?
Second movie, Reservoir Dogs was one and two for me. Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. Bless you.
Thank you.
Fucking animal. I love Pulp Fiction. I mean, there's so many classic scenes in this movie. Obviously, right early in the movie when Jules and Vincent show up and they're just having the conversation in the car.
I'm a Travolta guy.
I know
so
you're a Travolta guy, but
I love Travolta in this movie. They're dancing at Jackrabbit Slims and having a great time.
him just talking about a Royale with cheese and like they're giving a foot massage, and when they go in there and he just opens up the suitcase. Are we happy? Yeah, we happy. But Samuel Jackson.
You ever sneeze and your arms hurt?
All the time. It's early onset nerve damage.
What is it?
Early onset nerve damage.
What does that mean?
You'll have nerve damage when you get older.
Why?
That's just your nerves. That when you sneeze like that really hard and you feel it in your arms hurt, it's because your nerves.
All the way down to my fingertips.
Yeah, you have early on. When you get older, you'll probably lose feeling in your hands. I've had that for years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, well, you worked at Claire Rose like me, so you definitely did some permanent damage to your body, mentally and physically. So Pulp Fiction again. Samuel Jackson.
Well, you're not a doctor.
I'm not. I'm not a doctor. Yeah, don't take any medical advice from me. Like, actually, little fun fact: if you do accidentally swallow some apple seeds, try and make
Smoke
yourself
a cigarette.
or smoke. Yeah, try and make yourself throw up or smoke cigarettes. The smoke will kill all the toxins.
So it doesn't grow in your belly.
Yeah, and we've all seen that Rugrats episode. That's a watermelon
Could
seeds.
be tragic.
Yeah, and if you have a medical emergency where you accidentally snort some heroin because you thought it was cocaine, you got to find your boy and you got to have him adrenaline shot to your heart. And I love how she's trying to explain. John Travolta's trying to explain what a magic marker is too, and he's like, "Give me a magic Mario, give me a felt pen." Like,
Yeah, that's. I had a great time with this movie. I've seen it multiple times.
million times.
Yeah,
I watch this once or twice a year. And
I have this on VHS.
Yeah. Oh, do you really?
Yeah,
and this
right.
clicks along so fast. 2.5 hours. flies
quick.
by.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's just a fantastic fucking film.
And they break it up with the non-linear storytelling, everything. I
all
love
over the place.
Yeah, and every aspect. There's not really a down part to this movie, although the rewatchables have a whole section where they dedicate it to Butch's girlfriend, who's Bruce Willis's character. They said that she's horrible, and I agree.
Yeah,
I don't.
well, it's probably her first and only movie.
I don't know. I don't understand the casting her. She just doesn't fit in with the rest of everybody else in this movie.
No, but I think because she was like a Russian or some shit like that, right?
She's
like,
so innocent, and like she doesn't seem to like comprehend like everything, like the way she forgets to watch, and she's like so sweet about it. You can't get mad at her, but I'd want to kill her too if she forgot, because now he has to go back there, and it's crazy. The first time I saw it, when Vincent walks out of there and he just blows him away.
Yeah.
And that was also the first time I ever thought about, I guess a gun would give off a lot of smoke. I was always wondering why the smoke detector stopped going off. But yeah, just perfect throughout. Tim Roth and what's her name at the end and the diner, and just watching Samuel Jackson give his whole philosophy on life and how it's changed from this morning. Incredible movie.
The one that says bad motherfucker on it.
Yeah, you had that wallet.
I did have the bad motherfucker wallet.
You did.
Yeah.
It didn't live up to the quality of the wallet in the movie, though.
Who's to say?
That's true.
Who's to say?
I just didn't think I felt like his wallet would probably be a little bit higher class. He is a hitman, you know.
You never know.
But again, perfect movie throughout. Quentin Tarantino, he has said, he's been on record saying that his next film will be his last film because he's only going to make 10. You're probably wondering, we just counted down 10 films. He considers Kill Bill one movie, so 9 films. His next one is supposedly his last.
Wow.
And we will see. I hope not. I love Quentin Tarantino, but the man is almost 60, so I can understand,
but how old is Scorsese?
Well, Scorsese, guys like Scorsese and Steven Spielberg, they're going to die on set. They won't stop making movies. But I don't think Tarantino wants to do that. I think Tarantino wants to stop. Like, fucking Spielberg, he just doesn't stop. He has 3 years where he's put out 2 movies.
Now, I'm sorry to cut you off. Now, did Tarantino write and direct every one of these?
Yes, except for Jackie Brown, which is an adaptation of a book called Rum Punch.
Okay.
And he actually, not that book, but the Elmore Leonard novel, when he was 14 years old, he got arrested for stealing an Elmore Leonard novel, and that's what that movie is based on, is a Elmore Leonard novel called Rum Punch. But that's the only one. Everything else is an original screenplay that he wrote.
Okay.
He's even sold 2 screenplays, so he's a writer at heart. Okay. And you appreciate that when they write and direct, because it's literally their vision.
Yeah, I like written and directed by movies the best.
Yeah.
That's my cup of tea.
It's not an adaptation, it's an adaptation of their own work. So he's actually won the best original screenplay, I believe, a couple times for Pulp Fiction and I want to say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I think there might be one more in there, but I could be wrong. But yeah, he's won that award a few times, nominated almost every time.
Huh.
He's one of the best to ever do it. I love his work. There's a reason he's my favorite director.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these. I was trying to find, so some of them, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the 9th film by Quentin Tarantino, Hateful Eight, the 8th film, and then the last time they did that was Kill Bill, was the 4th film.
It might have been the Kill Bill time when he announced that he was only going to do 10 movies, because that was his 4th film at the time. There's a big gap. You went 94, 97, 03, 04, and then 07, 9, 11, 13. When was Hateful Eight? 16, and then this was 2019, I believe, was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
We have no announcement at all, right?
No, he hasn't said. There's been rumors that he was going to do a Star Trek film. And then I also heard the rumors that he wants to do Kill Bill Volume 3 because they wrote up, but they set it up in Kill Bill Volume 2, when she says to what's her name's daughter in that movie.
Yeah.
If you ever start to feel a certain way about me, and you want to address this, you can come find me. And then it's perfect because Uma Thurman has a daughter in that movie who's the same age, and you can get her actual daughter, Mia Goth, in there. Not Mia Goth. Maya Hawke in there. Like, you could do it.
Yeah, I would like him to kind of go back to the roots and give us something more like Reservoir Dogs or something like Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown.
I don't think we've ever gotten that movie again. I think after Jackie Brown, I think that he kind of shifted. His style started to become very over the top.
Yeah, and I like his first 3 are my top 3.
Yeah, those are my top 4. The only one that slips in there is Kill Bill Volume 2. But yeah, he just started to tell these like epics where he wanted to like rewrite history and like everything looks so fake, like the blood in Django Unchained. Not that I have a problem with that in the Hateful Eight.
Right.
The blood looks so ridiculous.
Yeah, they definitely used a lot.
You know, in the first 3 movies, which are all LA movies, they all take place in different parts of Los Angeles.
Another part that I like.
Yeah, they're all in Los Angeles, but all different parts, which is awesome. That's very original.
So, just so we can clear it up with everybody, because we're at the end of the podcast, and I still don't even know what the fuck the rules were. So let's
recap.
We'll recap our lists individually, so everyone knows what
exactly
we like.
what we. Yeah. All right.
So you can go first.
All right. So my number 10. Oh, let me go to my list thing too. Just in order, my number 10 was Death Proof. My number 9 was Inglourious Basterds. Number 8, The Hateful Eight. Number 7, Kill Bill Volume 1. Number 6, Django Unchained. Number 5, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Number 4, Jackie Brown. Number 3, Kill Bill Volume 2. Number 2, Reservoir Dogs. And number 1, Pulp Fiction.
Okay, so somewhat similar towards the front, I guess. Not
the bottom half is where Death Proof is like the big, where we just kind of went on.
Yeah, that's a big flip flop for us.
Yeah.
So at number 9 for me, I had The Hateful Eight.
Well, what's your number 10? 10 is Hateful Eight.
Oh, right. So at number 10 was Hateful Eight. At number 9 was Kill Bill Volume 1. At number 8 was Kill Bill Volume 2. At number 7 was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But again, that could be a toss-up with my number 6, which was Inglourious Basterds. So those two can be swapped to, depending on the day, depending on the weather, whatever I'm in the mood for that day.
Gotcha.
My number 5 is Django. My number 4 is Death Proof. And my top 3, at number 3 would be Reservoir Dogs. Number 2 is Jackie Brown, and number 1, Pulp Fiction.
I like it. It's a good list.
Yeah, I thought so.
So, anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this bonus episode pretty much from the podcast here, because this will go up as a podcast and a video.
Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to sit here and just nerd out a little bit about Tarantino, the world's greatest director. Mm-hmm. And we'll be seeing you guys around. And if you do like this kind of show, let us know in the comment section below while you're down there. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, look us up on all podcast networks, give us a 5-star rating for a couple of 5-star men. And it really does help them to push it, especially on Apple Podcasts. And then again, nothing really helps out the channel than spreading the word. So go find all your best friends and why don't you tell them about us.